Ever wonder how the ultra-wealthy manage to live in mansions, sail private yachts, sip cocktails on some secret island, and still somehow pay next to nothing in taxes? Like, how is that even legal? Well, buckle up, because once you learn how offshore banking actually works, you'll never see the tax system the same way again. And before you ask, no, this isn't some shady scam. It's all 100% legal. Wild, right? Now, imagine this. You're sitting at your kitchen table, staring at your tax form like it just insulted your grandma. You did everything right, followed the rules, paid your dues, and yet nearly a third of your paycheck is gone. Poof, vanished. Meanwhile, there's some billionaire out there moving millions through a Caribbean bank account like it's Monopoly money, and Uncle Sam barely bats an eye. This video isn't about evading taxes, that's illegal and dumb. This is about how the rich and powerful legally minimize their tax bills using something most people don't even realize exists: offshore banking. And no, you don't need to be Jeff Bezos to benefit from it. We're talking legal loopholes, international laws, and clever financial strategies that are completely above board but rarely explained to regular people. So let's break it down. What is offshore banking? Sounds like something out of a spy movie, right? Some guy in a suit whispering passwords to a Swiss banker with a mustache? In reality, it's way less dramatic. Offshore banking just means having a bank account in a different country from where you live. That's it. Totally legal. In fact, millions of people around the world do it every day, for reasons ranging from currency protection and privacy to better interest rates and, yes, tax advantages. Here's where things get spicy. Certain countries, known as tax havens, offer low or even zero taxes to foreign investors. Think places like the Cayman Islands, Monaco, or Singapore. These countries essentially say, hey, move your money here and we won't take a chunk out of it. And for high net worth individuals or multinational companies, that's like offering a dog unlimited bacon. You just can't say no. But wait, you're thinking, if it's legal, why doesn't everyone do it? Great question. First, it's complicated. The paperwork alone can feel like you're trying to decode ancient hieroglyphs. Second, most people don't even know it's an option. Financial literacy isn't exactly a top priority in school, unless you count learning how to write a check. And third, there are rules. Just because something's legal doesn't mean it's simple. Let's say you're a US citizen. You can open an offshore account, sure, but you still have to report it to the IRS. There's something called the Foreign Account Tax Compliance Act, aka FATCA. It basically forces foreign banks to snitch on American clients. Fail to report it, you're in deep trouble. So yeah, the IRS isn't totally asleep at the wheel. But the wealthy, they don't just open one account and call it a day. They build entire networks of trusts, shell companies, and layered accounts across multiple countries. It's like financial origami. They might set up a holding company in the British Virgin Islands, route profits through Ireland, and stash cash in Luxembourg. Sounds shady, but it's meticulously legal, thanks to loopholes and clever tax treaties between countries. Here's a real-world example. Ever heard of the double Irish with a Dutch sandwich? No, it's not something you order at a pub. It's a tax strategy used by corporations like Google and Apple to funnel billions through Ireland and the Netherlands to avoid US taxes. Legal? Yes. Sketchy? Also yes. Now, if you're enjoying the video so far, make sure to subscribe and ring the bell to turn notifications on. That way, you'll never miss a deep dive into the wild world of money, power, and loopholes. Now, back to the video. One of the reasons offshore banking feels like a secret society is because the rules are built to be hard to navigate. For most people, managing their local checking account is a win. But for those in the know, politicians, celebrities, and the 1%, offshore structures are a playground. They hire elite lawyers and financial advisors to design these setups like a Jenga tower. Take one block out, the whole thing could collapse. But built correctly, it stands forever. And get this, sometimes it's not even about taxes. Offshore accounts can also protect assets from lawsuits, divorce settlements, or unstable governments. Imagine being a business owner in a country with political unrest. Would you feel safer if your life savings were tucked away in Switzerland or Venezuela? Exactly. There's also a ton of privacy. In many tax havens, banks aren't legally required to reveal account holders' identities. That's why you hear about anonymous shell companies owning yachts, jets, or real estate in New York. On paper, it's owned by Global Holdings International LLC. But in reality, it's just one guy with a great lawyer and a really expensive taste in yachts. Some offshore accounts even come with concierge-level service. We're talking 24/7 bankers, asset managers on speed dial, and investment perks you won't find at your neighborhood credit union. It's like flying first class through the financial system, if you can afford the ticket. But hold on, before you sell everything and open a bank account in Bermuda, let's be real, offshore banking isn't magic. It doesn't erase taxes, it just moves the puzzle pieces around in your favor. If you try it without a solid understanding or professional help, you could end up flagged by the IRS or, worse, face criminal charges. This game isn't for amateurs. That said, you don't need millions to start thinking globally about your finances. Some banks in places like Belize or Georgia, the country, not the state, let you open accounts with just a few $1,000s. And while you won't save millions in taxes right away, you'll start learning how the system really works. And knowledge, that's the first step to power. So here's the kicker. Offshore banking isn't just for the rich. It's just marketed that way. The real reason it feels so unreachable is because no one teaches you about it unless you're already wealthy. But the internet has changed the game. You can now access tools, communities, and financial strategies once locked behind mahogany doors and $5,000 an hour consultants. Remember, laws change, loopholes close, and governments are constantly updating regulations to crack down on abuse. But the core idea stays the same. Understand the system, and you can navigate it better than most. So don't be afraid to explore. Just be smart, stay legal, and ask the right questions. And if nothing else, at least now you know why billionaires never seem to pay their fair share. It's not because the system is broken, it's because the system was built for them. Smash that like button if your brain just exploded a little. And drop a comment if you want a part 2 where we break down step by step how to actually set up an offshore account legally. Because this rabbit hole, oh, it goes deep.